So let's talk about Amazon SageMaker. It's a service from Amazon which is used to create AI models. Okay, and it can handle the different phases of the development like building, training, and deploying the AI model. So it's a fully managed AWS service to create custom models from scratch. First thing is fully managed. Fully managed is like AWS is going to handle the service for it. You don't have to do anything. Okay. So a lot of services we have seen like Extract and this Poly, Lex, every of them are actually fully managed. Like most of the services, I guess all of the services which we have seen up to now are all fully managed AWS service. So the server is managed by AWS. We don't have to worry about how it is going to be hosted and how the scaling will work. Everything will be managed by AWS. We don't have to worry about it. We just have to do our side of the thing, like which is like configuring the service and setting it up as per our need. And maybe we have to set up like pricing model, like on demand or provisioned based on our use case. Okay. So that's the fully managed. We don't have to worry about how it's going to be hosted on a server. Okay. Next is going to create custom models. So why do we need a custom model? So there can be cases where your company needs a specific it's have like a very high privacy or compliance issues, and it cannot use the already available models, foundation models, or the different machine learning models we have. It cannot go on that, or maybe it's a very custom requirement, right? So in that case, we need to have a custom built model. Okay. And one more thing is for the custom built model is the costing. So the costing is going to be uh, much cheaper if you are going to compare it with a foundation model. So obviously it's going to be much cheaper because the foundation model is like it's having a lot of information, right? And maybe you don't need all of it. You would be needing just a fraction of it. So why to waste our cost on this, right? So in that case, a custom built model would be much cheaper for your specific use case. So now what SageMaker is going to provide us? So SageMaker is going to provide us a lot of tools for the different phases of the model development. The phases would be like data preparation, where we prepare the data for training the model. Okay. Then we do the actual training. Then we do the model deployment. And then once the model is deployed, we'll do the governance. Like we will see how the model is performing, and if there are any issues with the model, we will keep monitoring our model. So we have tools for every one of it. Okay. So now SageMaker is actually a very vast AWS service. And we, from the exam perspective, all we need to know is what is SageMaker and the different tools which we are going to discuss for the different phases of the model development. So we just need to remember that. And there can be use case based question that we have this case which of the AWS service would be best suited for this, right? So we should be remembering what all tools are there from the SageMaker for these different things. So let's talk about the first phase, which is the data preparation. So we have to prepare the data for the model training. So for this, the first AWS SageMaker service, SageMaker tool, which we have is the SageMaker Ground Truth. Okay. So this is used for labeling your raw data. So the data which you have to train your model might not be labeled, right? So let's say we have a spam email detection model we are going to create. Okay, so we might be having the list of emails, we might have the content of the emails, right? Like the sender, the content, or maybe whatever other details, but we don't have a label. Label means which one of this is a spam and which one is a not spam. Okay, so we first thing we would need is the label for our data if we don't have it. So the ground truth is going to provide you options to create the models with both machine learning and human workflows. Machine learning is like in cases machine learning, like there can be automatically labeling can happen, or it can at least help like group it, right? So in that case, we have the ground truth to do it. Okay. And the human workflows. So human workflows is like we discussed this Amazon augmented AI, right? Where we can involve human to do few of the tasks which is going to help the AI, right? So in this also, your data can go to this human workflows, and then there would be like a group of lot of humans AWS have, right? So it can go to them, and there they will label it, right? So the ground truth, remember, whenever we talk about labeling the data and human in the loop, then we have the ground truth. Next is the data wrangler. So data wrangler is used to prepare your data set and create features out of it for the training. Okay. So prepare your data set means you have the data. So you have to filter it out. What all format we are going to use in the model training. We might not be using all the data we have. We might be using specific set of columns from it, right? Add maybe some columns which we have to create, which are not already there. Like let's say date of birth is there, but age is not there. So we can create a column age using the date of birth, right? So those the final columns which we are going to have will be called features. So based on these features, your model is going to be trained. So data wrangler is going to create those features from your data set. Next is the SageMaker feature store. So the feature store is for managing your features. So the different features which you create, you will have a common store for them where you will be having like a storage option and then managing and documenting your features. Okay. And the features once you create from your data set, this can be used across different models. So you have the feature store you which enables you to do this. Now the next phase of the model development, which is the model training. So once we have the data prepared for the training, we have to train the model. So for training a model, first thing would be the algorithm. Obviously, there like different models are having a different algorithms in their back. Right? We don't need to know what that algorithm is, how that works, but we just have to know like a model is backed by some algorithm, right? So the SageMaker is going to provide you option to write a custom algorithm as well, a custom machine learning algorithm for your model. So you can do it using the SageMaker Studio, or the other option is you have a lot of built-in algorithms, which we call it like model blueprints. Okay, so you have already built-in algorithms, let's say a fraud detection algorithm, anomaly detection algorithm, right? So you already have those algorithms written up there. So you can simply use it up and then you provide it with your data and train it. Okay. So here we have the SageMaker Studio. So SageMaker Studio has two features. First is writing this custom algorithms, and the second one is it's also providing you a unified interface to manage the different model phases, model development phases. Okay, so SageMaker Studio is like a UI which you can open, and then you will see the model. Like you can monitor your model from here, or you can open the different tools, the SageMaker tools from here for your model. Okay, so it's a common uh, platform for your model development, you can say. Okay. Next tool we need to know is the SageMaker Autopilot. So Autopilot, if you see, it's like you have your data set. Okay. So you are going to provide your data set to the Autopilot, and it is going to automatically find the best model blueprint and hyperparameter settings for you. So maybe you don't want to invest in like finding invest time in finding what is best suitable for you, or you might want a like a best choice for your data set, right? So you simply go to Autopilot, provide your data set, and it is going to provide the best model blueprint, the best available algorithm which is there for your data set, for your specific use case. Okay. And also it's going to auto tune the hyperparameters based on your requirements. So hyperparameters is like uh, the setting which we can do for the training. Okay, though we have discussed this earlier. So this is like different parameters we can set to optimize our training. Okay, so the autopilot can help you in both the things, in finding the best suitable algorithm for your dataset and also setting up your hyperparameters. Now, the next tool is the SageMaker Jumpstart. So, the Jumpstart is like it is providing you some pre-trained models. Okay, and you can simply use it up and then select a pre-trained model from the list available. Okay, and then just fine tune it based on your custom requirement and then deploy to use it. So how is it different from a blueprint? Blueprint is just an algorithm. Okay, on top of algorithm you have to train your model, but here it's a pre-trained model, so it can be a small foundation model or a natural language processing model or a computer vision model or different kind of models you can have already built in, already trained. Okay. You just train it specific to your requirement and use it. So for that we have the SageMaker Jumpstart. Now the next phase is the model deployment. Once we have the data, we trained it on the data. Now we have to deploy it. So the deployment is pretty easy with SageMaker. You have a one-click deployment, and obviously you don't have to manage any servers as it's a fully managed. We have seen earlier, right? So fully managed means you don't have to handle the servers. So there are four deployment strategies in the SageMaker. We don't exactly need to remember this, but we just have to have an idea of it. So the first one is the real-time inference. Real-time inference is for your model is going to be always available, always active, and the response would be real-time. Means immediate response you are going to get. Okay. Next one is the serverless inference. Serverless inference will also have a immediate or you can say quick response, but it is not always available. It is like auto scales based on the use case. So if you compare real time and serverless, so real time would be costlier and it would be always available, always as soon as you answer, your model is ready and it will answer you back. Okay. But for the serverless, if you leave it for some time, so it will auto scale to zero. Like you don't have to pay anything at that time. But the problem will be like if you don't use it for some time and then you are going to ask a question, there will be a cold start, so it will take some time to start responding again. So that's the difference between real time and serverless. Next is the asynchronous. Asynchronous, as the name suggests, you are not going to get the answer as soon as you you are going to ask it with a question. Okay, it will take some time, and then you are going to get the answer. Okay, not exactly when you asked it. Okay, so it's like you just send it a question and it will take some time. It will basically your questions will be going to a queue. Okay, and then your model is going to process it one by one, and the output it is going to store into S3. Okay, you are not going to get it directly at the time of questioning. Your output is going to be stored in S3, and then from there you can later go and see it. Okay, so this is for like use cases where we don't want an instant response, like let's say maybe a case of spam detection, right? So we have a lot of emails, and we don't want a quick response of it. We just run a kind of a asynchronous job. Okay, so we just hand it over to our model, and then we'll see like after like 1 hour or 2 hours, we'll check if has detected all the spams or not. So obviously the asynchronous is going to be cheaper than real time and serverless. Next one is the batch transform. Batch transform is for even heavier tasks. Okay, the bulk task, and in this it is going to have a offline processing capability. So this one is also obviously asynchronous. You will just hand it over the uh, the task, and it will do it later. When it is available, it is going to do it. So batch transform is the cheapest one. So again, saying you don't have to remember this up, just as a little bit idea is going to be enough for it. I don't think the exam is going to ask you like which one of the four you have to select based on the use case. Next, the final phase of your model development is the governance. So once your model is deployed, obviously it is started being used by whatever customers you have, or maybe yourself only, right? So you have to now monitor your model. Okay. So for that, the SageMaker services which we have are, first is the SageMaker Clarify. So the Clarify is for detecting bias within your model outputs and also finding the root cause of it. Like the bias has to have a root cause, like your training data has a bias, or maybe there can be some other cases, right? So the clarify is going to tell you if there is a bias and how that bias has happened in your model. Next is the SageMaker Model Monitor. So this one is going to watch your model and automatically alert for different problems within your model, like bias or data quality degradation or a low accuracy. Okay. So for that, you have the model monitor to automatically create the alarms. Next is the SageMaker model cards. So this is a way to document your model. Okay. So this is going to create some standard documentation for your model, which should contain the model name, its version, its description, its intended use case, and then its training details as well, and the evaluation metrics and risk rating. So everything related to the model are going to be a part of it. So this is going to be a standard documentation for your model, which you can like use like for like a compliance, or you have to just have a documentation, right? So it can be used anywhere. Okay. So that's all about SageMaker. There would be some questions attached in the YouTube description related to the topic. Please try them out.